Welcome back, everybody. I'm back on the Cts-V, uh, doing a catch can. Uh, it's a BMR, and it comes with these AN fittings that go to the hoses, and there's also a valve here to drain it with a hose that runs down. I ran it. There's a hole. There's a hole down there that goes to under the car. I'll show where it comes out. But that way it's away from the exhaust and everything. There was no instructions that came with it, so, you know, that's just what I'm going to do. It comes with these clips that you just slide in here, and it uses this existing tab right there that's already there on the car. And then there is a hole right here that you can screw this front bracket to. Right now I'm going to get it mounted. Also, when you put this together, you're going to want the valve at least on this side, because I noticed I had it somewhere else. I had to pull it back out. It was hitting the those brake lines, so you just had to flip it around. But other than that, you're basically just going to drop it in here. This is going to go behind that, like that. Then I just get a screw started in it, and then put this brace back on, and then put the other front, going from the front backwards. Okay, all I did was put the 4 bolts back in here. I got this screw here, which is going into this clip. I mean, it's pretty solid. Now all I got to do is push the hoses on there. I'm going to pull those fittings off and then connect the hoses. So with this Magnuson setup, I got the hose going right. You can see it down there. Oh, it's kind of running on the firewall there. And it goes to this valve cover. And then it goes all the way up here. In there. And I am not going to pull this off because it's a pain in the ass. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut enough so that that hose will go from the valve cover to the catch can, and then I'll splice the other hose with a double barbed fitting and reconnect it to the front of the blower. The splice will be in the back there somewhere, but that's how I'm going to do the hoses. But it kind of blends in there, so it's a big capacity too, so you won't have to drain it that often. The valve is right down in there, which I don't know, I think I'm gonna look from the bottom. So here's the hose coming out from under the car, so it feeds through up there. And what I'm thinking about doing is just getting another ball valve and just putting it up in here, and then I'll just leave the top one open, and I can just, when I do an oil change, I can just open it and drain it. I think that's probably what I'm gonna do, because it just seems a lot easier. But if you look through up here, you can see it way up there. Last time that valve was hitting those lines, and they're not hitting them now. But so yeah, that's that with from underneath. Oh, and here's a peek at these headers, man. They just barely clear everything. So I'm just glad they cleared, because the last set I had didn't fit worth shit. So I noticed when I first had it on, it was a little crooked. So I just had to loosen the screws, and I rotated it so that it was flat. So now it's sitting flat. The hoses are up, these fittings are up higher now. So yeah, so all I have to do now is just hook the hoses up, and it's done. I'm going to trim the hose down at the bottom, but I do think I am going to get a ball valve for that. It just makes sense. And then I can either way, even if I do this top one up here, I mean, I probably could get something in there. It's kind of hard to see it. There it is. I could probably get something in there and turn that like a screwdriver or something without having to remove anything. But like I said, we'll see how it goes, and I'll just go from there. We'll see how it goes when I go to do it the first time. Like I said, this thing's so big, it probably lasts me the whole summer to do it. So I'll put these trim pieces back on, and yeah, I don't think they'll be in the way of these hoses. So yeah, that's it. With these panels on, they're not in the way of anything. Looks pretty clean, matches this brace that runs across. And like I said, all I got to do is I'm going to take the hose from the driver's side valve cover that's connected, and there is a restrictor in there, and too. That's going to run here, and then the piece I cut, I will splice on another piece from this one and reconnect to the one that goes to the intake. That way it'll keep the oil from going up in there. And that's all there is to it with that. And I do have, for later on, I'm thinking I'm going to get to it today, and then I'll make a separate one for that. From ALM, this is the fuel hat that's going to go on the gas tank. It's got that 90 fitting, is going to go to the DSX aux pump line, and that goes to the stock fuel line. And this eliminates that, this fitting eliminates the plastic piece that breaks. So I'll get into it on the other thing, but that's what's next. But until next time, we'll talk later.